become the president of your company. And we show people how to do that. And in line with Stephen Covey's, begin with the end in mind, let's talk about what our end game here is. And our objective always when we work with a client is to build a business that can be sold or transferred. And by doing this, what we're helping you do is establish value for your business. Your business can help you fund your retirement. Or if you don't want to cash in at the end of your business career, you can transfer it to your children, to anybody. But that's the objective here. We want to build a structured business that can be sold or transferred. And what micro businesses are without any structure are what we call perishable businesses. Without the business owner, the business perishes. Okay? And we want to take a look now, before we could talk about what makes businesses successful, which we touched on a little bit, but we want to see, what makes businesses fail. And again, we went to the SBA website and we found a couple of authorities or references to why businesses fail. And these are some of the reasons: lack of experience, insufficient capital, poor location, overinvestment in fixed assets, overspending your money, poor credit arrangements, personal use of business funds, unexpected growth with competition, low sales, and we believe that all of these are valid reasons for quote-unquote small businesses. But if you're a micro business, you may not have any of these problems because you never even get to that point. We believe that the chief cause of micro business failures can be summed up in 5 words: a simple lack of focus. What happens is entrepreneurs get easily caught up in all the mundane tasks that are associated with starting and running a business. Dr. Covey describes this in his book as being stuck in the thick of thin things. And we could identify with that. But let's talk more about what's going to get you on the starting point for success. And, Napoleon Hill called this a definite chief aim, and we wanted more stronger language for our business model. And what we call this is an absolute primary focus. And we can spend a couple of hours just on this subject alone, but all I want to tell you right now briefly is the absolute primary focus is where we start with every client. Okay, it's composed of 3 different parts. It's where you want to take your business, how you're going to get there, what are you going to do to take it there, and what the result of all of your efforts are going to be. Okay? And, moving forward, one of the best tools that we found, one of the best principles, is another idea that came from Napoleon Hill. And let me tell you a little bit about Napoleon Hill. He studied business success, what made people successful, for over 20 years. And it all started with one of the most successful people in history. His name was Andrew Carnegie. And Napoleon Hill was interviewing Mr. Carnegie for an article, and he asked him a question which started a whole 20-year journey for Napoleon Hill. And he asked him, what made you successful? And Andrew Carnegie answered the question with the question. And he said, what is your definition of success? And he made a challenge to Napoleon Hill at the time. He said, I will open the door for you to the most successful people in the world today if you will take out and research the question of success. And over 20 years, Napoleon Hill got to spend time and become friends with and interview the most successful people of that time. People such as Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, Charles Schwab, Woodrow Wilson, Teddy Roosevelt, just to name a few. The main concept that he came up with that seemed to run along all successful people was this concept that he called the mastermind. And what the mastermind is two or more people getting together with the same goal in mind and working towards that goal. And what he believed was that mastermind actually became an entity onto itself. Like that entity, as long as those people were still involved with the mastermind, results came about that any of the individuals alone could not have achieved. And Henry Ford, at the time, without knowing it, or not even, the idea or the concept hadn't even been mentioned, but Henry Ford spent time with Thomas Edison and Harvey Firestone, and the three of them, the most successful people at the time, spent time together and created their own mastermind, and they fed off of each other. And this is one of the principles that we employ. Now, the next part of what we want to talk about are three basic philosophies that we need to extract from our clients. And we put this down on paper, and this is a big part of our system, because what this does is it takes the big picture and it boils everything down to, definite, concrete visualizations. And the first one is to describe what your vision is. Our mission is, how are we going to make that vision come true? In other words, we have to set out on an approach. What is our mission? When we get out of bed in the morning, what is our mission? Our mission is to help people become successful. It's as simple as that. The shorter, the more precise you get, the more effective this will be. We're talking about laser beam focus here. So you have to have a vision, you have to have a mission. Your mission is to make your vision materialize. And the next step that we do, we actually get into a daily approach. What is our daily routine that we can employ on a regular basis, and that is going to make us achieve our mission and ultimately realize our vision? And what we do with this is, we boil it down to, maybe 5 or 6 things that you should do on a regular basis that's going to make everything happen for you. And what we focus on, the quality of what you're doing. We have to employ consistency. Repetition works, we've learned. And what all this is doing for you is it's building your foundation. Okay? The analogy could be if you're building a house. Okay? You don't go out and go to Home Depot and buy all the lumber and all the tools and the materials to build your house. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to visualize that home in your head. Okay, Stephen Covey says everything is created twice. The first time it's created in your head. Okay, everything starts with a thought. Everything that's ever been created has always started with a thought. Okay? The second time it's created is the physical creation. And what you do when you create a house is you design a set of blueprints. Okay, and all of these things that we've been talking about are your blueprints for your business. Okay? And, in the E-Myth, Michael Gerber talks about the frustration that people have when they go into business, and there's so much to do, and there's, all of these things that have to get done. And, I'll give you the example that I tell a lot of my clients with the guy that's a good cook. The guy's a great cook. Everybody loves it, when he cooks, and they tell him, you should open up a restaurant. And what happens is they buy into this, and they it costs a lot of money to open a restaurant. And they mortgage their house. I've seen this happen. They put, $200,000 into this restaurant, furniture and fixtures, and they want to cook. And, they open their doors, and, before they open their doors, they realize they have to hire people. And now they have to put them on payroll, and they don't know anything about payroll. And they hire an accountant, and the accountant tells them they have to file for a sales tax ID number, and they have to charge their client sales tax. So now they're meeting with the accountant, and now they need to get workers' comp insurance. So they're talking to the insurance guy. And they forgot that they need to be incorporated, because now they have to talk to an attorney, and all of these things have to. And this all starts before they even cook their first meal. Okay, and they need to get a liquor license, and they have to buy silverware and dishes, and they have to pay for this. Now they need an accounting system, and you get the idea. There's so many tasks to do. And what happens is people get bogged down in the tasks before they lay down the principles of the business. Okay, the business has to have principles. The owner has to have principles in running the